All right, guys, welcome back.
Good.
How's it going?
It's going good to be here with you boys, and get things rolling smoothly. At that, smoothly, very smooth.
About a pancake.
Yeah, that's kind of what life is, looking like for us in the next 5 to 10 years. So buckle up and get ready, because every little taste I get of it makes me remember that I am not ready for it, and I don't
Yeah,
want it. I don't want that. Like I don't. Like, yes, I do want that one day, but not today.
not
I don't
today.
think you're ever ready for it though. I feel like most people are just like, fuck it happen. But like you eventually get more comfortable, It's like, oh, I have a house. I could do it. But like there's always
Yeah.
shit in life to like this is coming up or this is coming up or I just don't
Yes.
want to have a child.
I just think about how much of an investment it is. That's so much money that you have to
Lots of
spend.
money.
Yeah, lots of
And
Bro,
you
they
money.
have
used to say to raise a kid from like 0 to 18 years old was like $100,000. That was
Yeah,
20 years ago. They were saying
probably
that.
closer to like 300,000, dude, maybe more. I wonder
Yeah,
what
at
Google
least
says
more,
about
bro.
that, dude.
100,000 too.
500,000 maybe.
Especially if you have a daughter.
Yeah. And then
It
that's
would,
Come
also
on
like
now.
that's probably
it
not
would love
including like
maybe.
if you're paying for their college and shit.
Oh no,
There's
yeah.
an additional 50 to 100,000 right there.
Paying for cars. I mean, everything. That's the thing. Parenting is like, that's what I like about it. Like the idea of it. It's like I have all these people in my life that I get to look up to, a bunch of brothers that got a bunch of kids, sisters, cousins. And it's like eventually it's gonna be your turn to like have your own home and build your own home. Like, isn't that
Bro,
what we talk about? Like that's the patriarchy. You know what I
it
Yeah,
mean?
says
Like you're
it's
gonna be
like,
able to build it and then like have it how you want it and like have a little army of your people. You know what I mean?
dude, I mean, depending on where you go, it says like fucking, it's like almost $30,000 a year, depending on where you are in the country to raise a kid.
holy
How
shit.
much?
That's for like California, I guess. It says in Ohio it costs you about $300,000 to raise a kid, but California would cost you like $500,000 till they're 18. And I don't know
Yeah.
if that's accounting for like if you were to be like generous and buy them a car and to like put them through school, or if
It
that's just
has
accounting
to.
like clothes and like food.
Yeah, that shit's wild. I am not there.
I couldn't afford it. I mean, I guess you have to make it work though, because like I have friends who have kids,
Yeah.
and
Well, we're
like
at that age. We're
Yeah,
old.
yeah,
Like it is that age where a lot of people start having kids just even if they can't afford it.
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
they work. It's not like they make that much money. Like one of the dudes
No.
climbs trees. Not that he makes no money, but like he's not a fucking millionaire.
Well, you kind of just have to like at that point you kind of have to take a step back on like how you're living your life because it's like
Yeah.
you can, all those Chipotle trips or the little things that you don't think about until it's like, okay, I got somebody else like a whole life depending on me and it's like that little extra money that I'm spending, I can't spend that no more because like I have to spend it other places. Diapers, formula, wipes. You know how many fucking diapers you'd have to go through within that first couple years? That's tough, bro. Shitty fucking diapers.
Have you ever changed your diaper?
Yeah.
I have not.
I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
I've ever changed a
I don't
diaper.
think I've ever changed a shit diaper. I think that's where I drew the line.
You're gonna have to one day
Wait,
though.
is it common to
No.
get thrown up on? Is that going to happen? Like you get thrown up on, like your baby just throws up
Oh
on you?
yeah, they say you get. I mean, bro, what do you mean you're gonna get shit on by your baby, throw up on, all types of shit, bro. That's part of it. Like, bro, it's actually babies are gross, bro. They are nasty. Throwing up everywhere, like on you. It's like, chill, dude. Like,
You like bouncing him up, and he just probably
As
just
weird as it is, I like wish I could just like get a kid at the age of like 6 because like, dude, I mean, even though they're rambunctious at
well, you
6, like,
can.
no, I don't want to adopt. I don't think I could raise a kid that's not mine. But like in general, just like a baby, you can't speak to it, and you don't know what the fuck it needs, and that kind of gives me a lot of anxiety. It's like you're so fragile. And I don't know what you want from me. Like, what are you saying?
Literally, literally. Why are you crying?
Yeah, I don't know how to fix you. I
just
can't
fed
fix
you
myself.
15 minutes ago. What else do you want?
Yeah, bro. Just shit. Not yet. I think that's an important topic to even just discuss upon to, the young viewers out there because like, when you get into that point like, late teenage years, 17, 18, and like, bro, you get into a relationship with someone and then that like you see everybody else around you, the old heads like that you want to be like, you see what they're doing. And I feel like a lot of people want to rush into that type of thing. Like they want what their parents may have or they might want what their parents didn't have. You know what I mean? Like it could come from both sides. And to me, it's like I was just telling my young cousins the other day. I was like, "Hey, man, I think you should probably like slow it down a little bit. He's talking about getting a house, you know what I mean, with this lady. And I was like, well, it's none of my business really, but how long have you guys been together? This man, he's 21 years old, said a month. And they're about to sign a mortgage together. Like,
That's like something you do. I feel like either like after a couple years or like after you get fucking married. Like
yeah, yeah.
if you're together for 3 years, I can see it. Or if you're married and it's like been 1 year, but you're just like got married fast.
Bro, I just think that there's no rush, like, on any of that type of stuff. Like, especially our age group. Like, 22, you do not need to be married. You do not need to have two kids and a house and a mortgage and two car payments. You do just because like that's what society like norms are, like that you just fall right in. That's the rat race, though. You know what I mean? That's like, hey, keep producing the workers, keep everybody coming to work, having to pay these bills on time. It's like, well, how about instead of that, us young 20-something-year-olds, put that all that time and energy towards like positive growth and pursuing something a little bit different. You know what I mean?
I actually kind of think it's the opposite though. When a lot of people end up having kids that young and you can't afford it, you're not producing workers. You just become in a way a drain on society. You have to get on social programs, and I'm not saying that those aren't needed and helpful, but it's just like if you can't afford it and you do it, then you become, the government has to pay for it. And where does that come from? That comes from your tax dollars. And what's our deficit? There's your answer. You're a drain on society.
That's a good point. That is a good point. But I think that type of dynamic. If you're talking about like the government assistance and everything like that, and you know what I mean, just different standards of living, and that's where it's like, yeah, some people probably aren't in the position to have babies and do, and then it's like,
yeah, I just think you got to be able to afford it. Like you got to be able to be like, I'm gonna need to shell out a random $300 this month because my kid has an ear infection. Like you have to have that sort of like ability. I feel like before you have kids, because if you're like living paycheck to paycheck and it's like, oh, my kid needs new shoes, but I can't afford it. Like you're giving them a shitty life, and you're probably being a drain on society. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, if you're in that position,
I'm just riding the wave.
Work to make it better.
I agree with both points. I was saying that like having a kid that just messes up like what you were saying, your personal growth, and now you got to worry about somebody else that you wasn't prepared on having. So I kind of want to prepare to have a kid. Like I want to make sure that my life is set up perfectly so that I don't have to worry about those troubles for my children in general. So just having responsible safe sex, wrapping that thing up, or being a pullout guy.
Hunter went from yeah to no so quick. It's like, hell yeah.
If she has an IUD and I've known her for a good few years, we can take and go crazy. But other than that,
I just gotta say,
I don't trust birth control.
If I wash my hands with gloves on, did I really wash?
Did you really wash your hands?
Then I really wash my hands. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you felt the water though.
No, you didn't. No, you did not.
I felt the pressure of the water.
You felt the pressure.
The pressure of the water, but I didn't feel the water.
Was it really wet though?
Yeah.
Hey, it gets up on your goddamn wrist, and you're up your arm a little bit.
It's disgusting now.
Might get on your stomach a little. You'll feel it a little bit,
Fair. Definitely. That's like one thing I think about too with having kids is like, I grew up in a situation where like my parents were able to pretty much give me everything I needed at all times. Not that I didn't have to work. Like I worked to like buy a car, and shit like that. But like I never had to worry about like clothes or money to go here or do this or whatever. And like I just want to be able to provide that like same thing, because it's like unfair in a way to have a kid and they're like, oh, we're having a school field trip, it's going to cost $300, and you're like, well, I don't have $300, you can't go, and like that sucks, and like I didn't, I'm grateful that I didn't have that problem. I know many people do, but
the fact is that you having that type of awareness though is what makes you the real one. You know what I mean? Because like you had it and didn't go without it, but you understand. Wear a condom. Say hi, Zeke. Say hi. But pretty much, like if you're gonna go ahead and just I lost my train of thought.
No, I get it. Like I understand like that there's that other side of the coin, where some people don't have that.
Oh yeah, some people don't have it, and like so. Some people have to go without it, and then that's when you give a kid a shitty life. Like, bro, that's not, the kid didn't choose to be born. You know what I mean? Like the parents' poor decision making was the result, and that kid, you know what I mean? They don't deserve. Like I hate But I feel you because I've grown up and around a lot of kids like that. They just
Yeah.
didn't have it. Like,
Couldn't get new shoes or couldn't get anything nice. And that's the thing, like I always was able to get everything I wanted, which is like that's what you want in a way, like as a parent, like you think once you have that responsibility, you just want to provide them the best thing possible. You want them to be happy. Your happiness kind of has to go to the wayside.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so much responsibility, bro.
So much.
dude, a lot of responsibility, a whole damn life depending on you. And then they have an attitude. Like, what do you mean you have an attitude? But another thing, is just about like I don't know. I feel like in like retrospect to that, like if I was in this situation right now and like this is little Chase right here or something, like I know for a fact I'd go way harder. So that's where it's like kind of like it's like I don't need it and I don't want it. But like if you put yourself in those shoes, like when you do have that other person depending on you, it's like how could you not? Like I'm in the sales, bro. How could I not carry that mentality with me every single sale? It's like it's not just for me.
To grind.
It's sink or swim at that point, But not everybody
Yeah.
does. Some people don't have that push. But if you have it, it's like, I want to get that promotion, or I want to do this for not only myself, but for now this other person.
Because it messes up your career. Like you could have been trying to become a doctor, engineer, and those take time. So you have a kid in the midst of that. You got to drop that career to find something to start making money soon. So now you're just hustling to get into sales pretty much because that's the best way to make money. So it just make sure your career is built to where you want to get at, before you start popping kids out.
One thing I've noticed and kind of seen too, like at least on social media, is like this might sound a little weird, but like women talking about how like once you have children, like their husbands end up like not spending enough time with them because like they work, and then they spend all that time with like their children, and then like they feel like they kind of lose out. And I kind of find that to be like a super weird thing to be upset about. It's like if your husband's providing, and then like coming home and spending time with your children, like how could you still feel undervalued? But they seem to. I don't know, I've been seeing a lot of that.
Bro, I agree. And it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like if you're sitting there being a damn loser at home, it's like you're a terrible person. And then you're out and I'm sorry, babe, I'm working so much that I don't have time for all the extra shit right now because I'm making us a living and you hate me. It's like, what do you want me to do?
Then they're like, oh, you're not here in my life. It's like, yeah, because I'm giving you a fucking life.
Yeah, literally.
So what do y'all determine 50-50?
What do you mean? Like in a relationship? Go ahead. I'll answer this last.
So like 50-50 to me is something that's within like the dating range. Like when I'm married, my wife won't have to pay like the bills and shit. Like that would be for me. But as like my girlfriend, I'm not paying your rent or your car note. Like I'll pay to get your nails done and dates like that, but I'm not paying like for shit that you supposed to be paying with as a young woman. You know what I'm saying? Like once we married though, I'm paying everything. Like we're living together. We're not gonna live somewhere I can't afford to pay for. So
for sure.
I think 50-50 is like in terms of dating. It's not so much paying your bills. It's so much I'll take care of like the dates, like the travel expenses. I'll take care of shit like that. I'm not paying your rent, baby.
No, for sure. I agree, though. I mean, especially if you're just dating, I don't think anybody should have to take the full brunt of it. So I agree, 50-50 when you're dating should be, split everything and then you pay for dates as a man. But I also think, like, later in life, like when you're married, even as a man, like, sure, you could say, like, oh, I could take on this whole mortgage. But if your wife works, like, I don't think you should just take on all those bills and not have, like, her pay for anything. I think you should do something else with that money. Like, for instance, like, when my parents got together, like they lived off my mother's salary and saved my father's salary to buy a house. So like that's 50-50.
That's fire.
Both doing
that's
something.
Fire. Do something like that.
They lived cheaper so that they could save up and then do this other thing, or they could take this vacation. So I think it's just like allocating your time and your money accordingly to what you both agree to. Like it may not be a 50-50 split, because maybe you don't even make 50-50, but it's like even with time, it's like if I work until 8 o'clock at night, but you make dinner every night, okay, well that's better. I may make more money than you, but I work longer, you work less, but you provide dinner or you're helping with the laundry. Yeah, sure, I have to do the outside chores, but like you're going to do the inside chores. Like I think there just has to be that give and take, because otherwise there also creates like resentment. It's like I fucking do everything, if I paid for everything, And
Yeah.
then like I would expect something in return, and if you're not putting in return, it's like say I do everything and I take you on a nice date and I come back and I want to get something, you know what I mean? And then you're like, no, I'm too tired, and then it's like, well, now I resent you, okay? Because like I paid for everything and I've done everything. I mean, it's just the truth, you know?
No, it is. It is. It is.
It's
That's
like
where you have.
what
Yeah.
am I getting in return, you know what I mean? So but if you have that like 50-50 split where it's like then I'm not expecting anything from you because I know, okay, well, you do this and you do this, and like we both give to this relationship. Sure, you're tired, I'm tired, let's go to bed, you know what I mean? I think it like helps make everything better. I don't know, I might be an asshole though, so.
Yeah. No. That. Oh. Hey. The ladies probably ain't gonna like hearing that one. But you were saying some real shit there. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, look at how would it that type of just even your parents' dynamic, bro. That's fire. Like you just said, they both had a salary, but said we're gonna put one aside and we're gonna make one work. And like that's something so simple, but I've never even really heard anybody doing something like that. Like that's dope. And so like when you say Elijah, I think that's the thing. Dating and marriage and that type of dynamic is definitely big differences because like you got in this day and age and in dating
That's what I was
they
getting at.
expect
Yeah,
some Hugh Hefners, some big
that's
steppers
what I'm
pulling
saying. That's what I was
big
getting at.
Benjis. It's like just for what? Like I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but like the same girl that went home with my friend for a $5 Dom's bomb, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wants to be taken out for a $200 dinner. Like, what in what world does you going out for $5 off a shot versus you going out for a $200 meal and think you're the same person? Okay,
Yeah.
you already showed your value at that, and you know what I mean. So that's
No,
just.
I'm charging a dime bomb is crazy too because it's only $3.
$3 dom bomb,
But
$200
so like
bomb.
when you get to like the dynamic of it all too in dating, 50-50, especially in your 20s, is such a weird thing because it's like I have a problem to where it's like, okay, if I'm gonna see somebody, I know that deep down, like I just want to be a gentleman about it. I'd rather, like you said, Hunter, you pay for the dates, you do all that. But the problem then becomes once you've already set that type of foundation, then that's what they expect 100% of the time because it's like yes the first like month of us going out of course I'm going to pay for everything because this is brand new. I don't know, like we're creating a connection here and I want you to know that the last thing you need to be worrying about is the money part right now.
Right.
But now when you shift into the real dating part in that relationship, and then it's like, okay, now you're just being a leech. It's like, okay, every time we go somewhere, $60, $100, $60, $100, while your bank account's not taking any type of hit. It's like, okay, where's the give and take? It's like,
Why would you
yeah,
date somebody like that? Would be my next. I wouldn't even date
Some,
somebody until
some,
I saw that they did something for me as well.
Sometimes it's also just like easier, like you didn't understand that's happening. Like you get in that rhythm where it's like, okay, like I go to Chipotle and I get a $10 bowl. She's with me, I'll buy her bowl. I do that every
yeah,
day. Okay, say I go out and I get fast food 5 times a week, and every time she's with me, and all of a sudden I buy it with her every time. So my $10 fast food becomes $20, which
20.
returns from yeah. So it goes from $50 a week, which maybe I could afford, to now $120 a week, which is like, whoa, that's crazy. And it's like just little things like that. And like in her mind, she's like, oh, he's just getting me like a meal, whatever. And in your mind, it's like, oh, it's just a meal, whatever. But like at the end of the day, it's like, fuck,
Adds up.
why is my credit card's $1,000? It just ends up adding up and it gets away from you. And I think that's something you have to communicate. But here's a fun fact that I was thinking about recently with like men and women and equality and everything. It's like a weird shift in society. We're all equal, right? Women can do whatever men can. They're supposed to make as much money.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then men still have this weird value where we have to pay for everything. So if
Right.
you make the same money as I make, theoretically, so say before, if I make more money than you, it makes perfect sense why I pay for everything. But if now you make the same money as I make, on a real scale, and I'm paying for everything, and you're not touching your salary, so we both make $60,000 a year, and I spend my entire salary to give you greatness, and then what happens to yours is it just sits there. So then now all of a sudden I become a whim to you because it's like if you leave, I have nothing to show for it. I
Yeah.
bought you all this beautiful shit, but you still have your salary that you've been sitting on. And I think that's a weird shift in society as well, where I think it needs to become more equalized, where if you're both gonna make the same money, you both should kind of contribute the same effort. Is what I mean by
Yeah.
that.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that type of point up because so that was kind of going to be my pivot because like you start out you know, it's cool to be the gentleman up front. You know, you don't want, bro, you don't want to be a schmuck. Like,
Oh,
okay,
no, no.
at the end of the day, like you said, it's really not about even the money. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, it is a little bit, but it's more so about the principle too. Once you get into a relationship and you start seeing, it's like, okay, those little times where it's like natural for you to pull out your own wallet. It's like, okay, I have to pull it out. I know I'm pulling it out. I know I'm pulling it out. And it's like, it's not a big deal. But then it's like, until like you realize that that's just what the other person across from you is expecting. And it's like, you ain't even on that type of level yet to be expecting it. Like, you haven't shown me that you're going to be even my wife yet. You know what I mean? Like, you think that I should be doing this to you every single day, every single time because of, you know, the treatments that you believe you deserve to respect. You know what I mean? Like, and I just think it's just so like, it's so weird and phony because it's like you said, you can have two individuals making $60,000 and your account's draining and that account's staying the same. It's just
You
like,
see that
bro,
often, though. You see that often. I've seen that so
Oh,
many times, like on the internet and social media.
it
yeah,
happens all the time, and then they, you know, they get to buy whatever you want, and the things you want to buy, you put on the back burner because you tell yourself, "Well, I have to be a gentleman and supporter," because that's what old school society would tell you. But it's
yes.
just kind of different. Also, people today aren't as faithful as they used to be. You know what I
Nope.
mean? Like divorce rates are as high as they've ever been, which is just another thing to take into account when you're like thinking about that. Like if you drain everything on somebody. Like, not saying they're going to be unfaithful or leave you, but you just got to, you know, take it ain't the 50s, you know, you're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just it's a different time.
it's a different time.
And I think a lot of that is expected. Like, you see a lot of women who, like, they know that they can get all this free stuff from men. They're like, oh, I've been to the bar 100 times, and guess how many drinks I've bought? One, because it's like, oh, if I play this card and I pull this string, I get a free one here, I get a free one there, and I get a free date here. And I think that you could take advantage of that for sure.
Like I literally saw a video. She hopped in the car. She was like, "It's like, yeah." He's like, "You ready to like go out to dinner?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just here for the free food." I'm like, "Yeah, you gotta get out."
Yeah. You
In the car and said some bullshit like that. I'd be like, "You gotta go."
ever see
Like,
the video of the girl who her boyfriend takes her to Steakies for lunch and she's like bitching. She's like, "Look at me, do I look like I eat at Steakies?" And he's like, "This is a $30 meal, like or a $40 meal." He's like, "What's wrong with Steakies?"
is this in Kent?
I know it wasn't a Ken. It was just a fucking like it was a viral little video. I just always find it funny. People be entitled.
People are entitled extremely, okay? And like, especially women, okay? Like,
Let's just
okay,
talk
so
about
here's my pivot though. Here's my pivot though, because I was getting to a pivot. Now, all that shit I was just saying about like, okay, like all these, you know, like expecting, and I just think it's because it's like that lead up to where it's like I do want to get to a point one day with you to where you don't have to worry about anything. I do want that to be reality. I want to be a full provider one day, like, and I will be. Like that's my goal is to have, you know, typical. I want to have a stay at home wife raising all my babies and just having that typical me go to work, I'll fucking bring home the money to the table, you cook, you clean, you know, you create a home, a woman's touch. Bro, I could move into a big ass house right now, but if I don't have a woman, it ain't gonna have that woman's touch. I realize that. And
It
so
looked like a drug
I
den.
do want to get to that point, but it's like that lead up, it's like when girls, you know, because they're promiscuous in this generation, they're very, you know, quick to go to the next, if you will. You know what I mean? Quick to just see, you know, who has the most clout, who has the most, you know, who's looking better this month, you know, who's I don't know what these women are thinking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I can't be sitting here waiting, choosing and guessing. It's like and spending all my fucking money. Like at the same time, once I know someone's gonna be like, once I know that I have that person, bro, I'm gonna be spending all my money on them. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like if I know that you got me and that we're faithful, we're loyal, we're building. But like, I don't think I'll get to that point unless I know that there's like either a ring on the finger or a baby in the belly. Like you ain't getting that from me till then.
Thanks.
Because
Also, it's just a level of
otherwise,
success too. You know, like you got to be
yeah,
where you want to be success wise to be like, okay, I could do this for you. And you know, if you're like, fuck, I still need to like grind and like there's still things I need to accomplish, then you're obviously not going to be able to do that. But once you get to that level of like, oh, I'm comfortable, you know, then it's way easier.
I 100% agree.
Fucking tricky bitch.
The world.
Yeah, you got to tote the line of societal changes.
But to switch up the topic.
yeah, fuck a whole 30 minutes about kids and babies and wives and fuck that. I'm
Yeah,
not
dude,
at
we're
that
much
stage.
misogynist now.
All right, whatever. No, we said some good things. We will have families one day, but one day, not
Yeah.
today. Okay,
Not
next.
today.
Let's get this
On your
paper.
first
Okay.
episode of We're Sexists. No, I'm kidding.
What'd you say? First episode of Worst Exes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually
Yeah. As you can tell, we've all been hurt. No, I'm kidding.
why would you lie to me?
I've been hurt
Did
so
you
many
fucking lie to me?
times. I don't know what to believe. She said it's my fault. It's my fault. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Elijah, let's hear about this fucking show that you just watched.
So this show is called Cause and Effects. It's about mushrooms, while on mushrooms, and it was just the most insane shit I've ever watched. So basically, this guy discovers a mushroom that just heals you completely. Like, so if you're blind, you know, you have cancer, dementia, you take it, it'll heal you. But the problem is that the medical companies, they built like this sewage, like their factory on like where he found the mushroom, and they're like since like they're saying like America runs off healthcare, like that's how they make, like that's where a lot of the money comes from for like
Oh yeah.
and shit.
Wait,
He's like trying to
Oh,
not
yeah.
give it to the government, right? But he meets this girl that is like the assistant of the CEO of like the pharmaceutical company that has, but don't tell him. So it's like it goes into like a whole bunch of shit, and it was just like my thing is like, what if you were able to find a mushroom? Like, would you give it to everybody? Like, would you make it to where it's a product and you buy it? Like, and that was like the whole thing they were trying to figure out, and then it was like people after him and shit. It was just like, y'all gotta watch it, bro. Y'all have to watch it.
That's a really cool concept too, because it kind of plays into like the societal greed that we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
And like even with like RFK's thing, we see like how the food pyramid has not always been real, and how big pharma is willing to like push down natural remedies because they don't make any money for like their pharmacy companies or for their pharmaceutical drugs, because that's where they make all their money. So then you got society locked into the pharma's drugs, and everyone's on these antidepressants and things they don't need, when like maybe you just need to change your fucking diet. You know, like maybe if you just actually took natural remedies, but they're not going to tell you that, and doctors aren't going to tell you that because they don't make money. And that's like so true to that show. It's like if there was a cure to cancer, and there probably is, they're not going to tell you. You know why? Because the cancer industry is literally one of the biggest money-making industries in America.
Exactly.
More people die from chemotherapy than actually die from cancer, but we still do chemotherapy instead of any other natural remedy because radiation makes a fuckload of money. So it's all this corrupt industry, and if you did find something like that, they'd probably fucking kill you the same way they killed the guy who made a car who could run off water.
Yep.
It's interesting. That's one of the reasons I do like RFK. I'd like to see America get healthier and more on like a natural path than a, like, oh, you're sad, like just take a bunch of pills, or oh, you're overweight, like just take Ozempic. Like that's not your solution to your problems. You know, and all that does is it feeds into this corrupt circle of money we have. You know, citizens don't ever see that money. The pharmaceutical companies do, and the bigwigs do, and the congressmen do, and they get their back payouts, and nobody ever gets charged for anything that goes wrong. Kind of crazy.
A patient cured is a customer loss. That's what they say.
Exactly. No, that's completely true.
That's where the shit gets really deep. If you want to take it on a whole other level of a bigger problem that we face in this country is, you know, the opioid epidemic. Let's talk about that. There's more kids now than ever our age. Huh?
I said I just watched a documentary on that today about Kensington, Philadelphia.
Bro, literally, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I've seen it up close and personal. I've seen family members be affected by this, and it's all from Big Pharma. It's all, it's a plot, bro. It's a plan. Like, okay, this is how the cycle goes. Traumatic incident does actually happen. You either get a crazy surgery, you either get fucked up in an accident, something crazy. Okay, you're going to go to the hospital, you're going to get prescribed painkillers. They're probably going to be oxys. They're probably going to be Roxys. But yeah, so pretty much like you get into that cycle where you get prescribed all these painkillers, and you're like, you know, you need them at that time. But then you don't realize, like, you get better, but your addiction starts clinging on a lot more.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, physically I'm improving, but mentally now I have a crutch. Now I like how I feel when I'm on these opioids. Because, okay, opioids are fucking addictive. Like, that's the most addictive thing.
Yeah.
It completely controls your whole nervous system, endorphins, your serotonin, you can't process emotions naturally ever again after, really. Like, I wouldn't say ever again, but once you get off them, it's hard for you to ever find, like, what feelings, like...
Well, it's called chasing the dragon. And then, yeah, that was a huge problem, especially in like the early 2000s. I think that one's kind of died down a little bit. I think a lot of the opioid problem now is also comes from like fentanyl and stuff coming across the
Yeah,
border, where people end up, taking it accidentally
insane.
too. But I think a big problem with pharmaceuticals though is the overprescription of ADHD medication and depression
Yes,
medication. I mean, you figure there's a huge statistic of people compared to like what it was in the 80s who are on ADHD medication, and not everybody has ADHD. And then depression is even crazier. And fun fact for you: every school shooter was on depression meds. So obviously it doesn't work. A side effect of depression meds is suicide. Well, how is that fixing your depression? I think instead of saying like a kid comes to you and you say, "Oh, I'm depressed and I'm sad," instead of being, "Oh, let me just shove these pills in your throat and let's see if
yeah,
they fix it. What if you have anxiety? Here's a pill." It'd be a lot better, more beneficial to talk about it and to
that's
figure
the
out how to
problem.
function in your own skin. You're only ever going to be you. So you figure out how to be comfortable in you, and then you go from there. Everyone has crutches, you don't think sometimes I'm like, man, I was a weirdo last night, or I was annoying. Yeah, it happens. You learn how to deal with it. You don't go and you find a crutch to change it, because then you just become dependent on something that's not real and it's not you. And we've given that to entire generation of children who are now dependent on that just to feed other people's wallets. Like, do you
Yeah.
really think it's made them better? Does society look better now than it looked 40 years ago when nobody was taking those medicines? I would say arguably it looks worse. So I don't know.
Cause
It's
everybody
That was
likes to throw it out of depression and I have ADHD and shit. Like I was on pills from middle school to high school. I was taking 45 milligrams. I took myself off that shit in college.
Yeah, and
So
look, you function fine without it. It's easy to look at a kid and to say, like, you don't want to pay attention. Well, I'm just going to give you pills to help you pay attention. It's a lot harder to sit your kid down and be like, hey, shut the fuck up. You actually have to learn this. But that teaches them how to be better in society.
yeah,
Like, you've taught yourself how to function that way. And I'm not saying some people don't need it. Like, we all know our buddy who needs it,
yeah,
Cam, he needs that shit. But, like,
yeah. Some people
not
need it.
everybody
My
does. And
hey,
it's an
I'm
excuse.
living with someone that needs it too. Okay, I get it. I've been around people that I know when someone needs it, but a lot of people don't. And back
Yeah.
to my point, Hunter, I love everything you just said about that because that was a great pivot right into because that is a huge issue, bro. It's like they're prescribing 7-year-olds fucking Adderall. Like why? It's like that's not needed. But that's another. You already just covered that whole point. Back to my original point with the opioid epidemic, where it gets tricky is it's like okay, so you have a bad accident, get prescribed opioids, start to recover, addiction gets worse. So this is where it becomes tricky, and this is where big pharma fucks the entire country because they're prescribing, let's just say, an 18-year-old kid who just got into a car accident or something. It wasn't life or death, but he did get into a car accident. They prescribed him OxyContin, the most lethally, high prescription dosage, anything you can get from the hospital is pretty much like Oxy, besides them giving you a bag of heroin, okay? But pretty much put you on that, okay, you start to recover, but they know that your body's going to get physically dependent on this. They know that, they just don't care. It's like, okay, we'll milk you until we can keep getting you to come to the doctor and get your prescriptions refilled and we want all your money. But then as soon as like the doctor cuts you off from that prescription, that's when you're fucked because it's like okay I was being treated by the medical industry for something that didn't choose to happen to me but now subsequently like I'm addicted and so now
Mhm.
that's where it gets fucked it's because that's where the heroin gets brought in that's where the fentanyl gets brought in because it's like you have these kids that they're most of the times they're kids now bro they're like 19-20 year olds I've seen it bro it's sad it's like the kid gets prescribed boom now he doesn't have them anymore. The doctor cut his script. Okay, he's in the streets now. He's fucking feeling like a dope fiend. He doesn't have that shit that made him feel whole anymore. What's he gonna do? When he goes to the drug dealer to get a bag of weed, he's probably gonna ask him if he got any other shit. Okay. Eventually, this cycle repeats and continues. You might start buying pills from the drug dealer, but the
As
thing about opioids is you build a tolerance very quickly to it. So that's why actually people don't do fentanyl by accident, Hunter. Just to let
really?
you know, people actually buy fentanyl to do fentanyl. And it's
That's
fucked up.
insane.
It gets that bad to where not only do you get off the pills, then you get to heroin, like fentanyl's little brother, heroin. Then motherfuckers are literally chasing that high so much, they're literally asking like, you know what's sad, Hunter? And this is so fucked up. This is so bad when a bad batch of like coke goes through a city, you know what I mean, and and some people die from it. Let's just
There's a
say
lot of people.
the junkies are literally asking where that drug dealer is.
Yeah, they want
Like
it because it
people
won't
are
kill them.
dropping dead, and the first thing an addict is thinking is, "Damn, that's some good shit." And that all starts from at the top of the pyramid, big fucking pharmas prescribing kids prescriptions that they don't need, and then you just fuck a kid's life up, bro. My brother went through it. Like that's why I know exactly how those stages go. Like, and then you are literally thrown to the wolves to try and get clean. It's like, yeah, you could go to rehab. You might have to go to jail after you fucking figure some things out. Like, it's tough.
And that's what shows you they really don't care about your recovery or anything. So you're pretty much a cash cow to them. So
Yeah.
they're going to give you this prescription for as long as they can legally write it because they make money on your insurance every time they prescribe it. Even if the money doesn't come out of your pocket. I mean, I audit healthcare companies. I see what insurance
Yeah.
pays for a lot of things. That money's coming from somewhere.
Right.
So they make money from these insurance companies or the state in some instances, depending on your insurance. Sometimes the state just covers it, but these private companies make money for prescribing these drugs. So they're going to do it as long as they legally can. And then they don't care about your recovery. They don't make any money on your recovery. You know, there's no state funded or there's no privatized hospital that's like, oh, let me recover you. That's a whole different entity. So maybe that's something we should get into. Buy them both. No, but so then they're just like, fuck you. You're no longer our cash cow and you're in the wolves. You know, you're thrown to the weeds. We don't need you anymore. We're going to cut your script and we can no longer give you this and we can't help you figure out how to get off of it. Because they don't make money off that.
No, literally. Fuck.
Society.
Once and to everybody listening, okay, you know, if everything that we just said sounded like a lie and it just fucking flew over your head, it's time to wake up because there's people at the top of these industries that, you know, corporate greed is real. Okay, the sooner you realize that there's 1%ers for a reason, and that there's people out here that don't, you know, like life is not just, you know, hey, I could get into my career and I could get things rolling, and life is set up for me to succeed. No, life is set up for you to fail. Okay, it's up to you to change that direction.
Yeah.
They want you to follow the crowd with everybody else. They want you to get that regular job, and they want you to, you know, end up like using you as a cash cow when they need to. You know what I mean? The industry is set up for you to fail. It's
They want
like
you to be a sheep.
they want you
It's
to be a
easy to
sheep.
control sheep. It's hard to control free thinkers. I mean, dude, on a real note, like just talking about my job and everything, like, so a lot of these companies I audit, they make a lot of state stimulus money, and a lot of times they show like a net loss year over year because, you know, the operating expenses are high, and then but their owners still take like enormous distributions, even though these companies are showing a net loss. But these companies will never go bankrupt because they are funded by like states. You know, they have state stimulus and stuff like that. It's just like an insane thing to think, like in any other industry, if you were showing a net loss year over year, you would go bankrupt and you would close down your company. But like not in healthcare. Nope. There's really not a lot of fear of you going bankrupt. Kind of crazy.
Fuck the Illuminati. Fuck the elites. Fuck the Rothschilds. Fuck all the people at the top. I actually saw something, and this is a little controversial, but I saw something. You know that Luigi Mangione, is that how you say it? The dude that is in prison right now for killing that Hunter. You definitely know exactly.
Oh
what I'm
yeah, you're talking about the guy who shot the United Healthcare CEO.
Yes. What do you think about
Guy
that
definitely
situation?
deserved it. I mean, vigilantism and shooting people in the streets probably isn't the best way to fix the society. But like on a real note, I don't give a fuck that dude's dead. He's a CEO
Yeah.
of healthcare, and I think that's the most corrupt thing in the world. No, he shot him in the street. No.
Oh.
He shot him. He shot him. If you watch the video, he shot him walking. The guy was walking to work, and he came up behind him. He shot him twice. Shot him in the back of the calf, and then he shot him in the back, and it killed him. And the reason was so the story that I've heard. You know, I might miss a few facts, but basically he was a rock climber, a very active guy, and he ended up breaking his back, and he has all these screws in his back, pretty much. And insurance like denied his coverage or something. So think about it, like if you pay for insurance year over year over year, and then something tragic happens to you, you're hoping that insurance is going to cover that because you've paid into it for the last 5-10 years, and you don't want to put yourself in debt. And they were like, pretty much, fuck you. Like, we're not going to cover this bill. We're not going to help you at all. And like he like submitted all these like x-rays and stuff of like why he needs this treatment, and insurance wouldn't cover it. So he was just living his life in pain. So he kind of snapped, and he went and he killed the CEO of the healthcare company because they were denying his claims. I'm not saying that's correct, but there is a semblance of like, okay, there is some like, he wasn't necessarily 100% wrong. It's like, that's fucked. You know, like he pays for this service and then they're not willing to cover him. And now, because of an accident and he thought he was protected, insurance is going to say, like, hey, we're not helping you. Because that's what insurance companies do. They literally find every loophole they can to not help you. Like life insurance, for instance. If you have life insurance, but you die in a way that they would consider self inflicted, so say you're going down a highway doing 120 miles on a motorcycle and you hit the back of a semi and you die, your life insurance doesn't pay you out. Why? Because they're going to count that as a suicide. Even though you didn't intentionally kill yourself, there's always a loophole for a reason that insurance is not going to pay you, and it's not a fair thing.
And you're going 120.
What?
And you're going 120. I'm low key on the insurance side.
You're on the insurance side.
Low-key.
I mean, insurance is needed, but it's corrupt. It doesn't do what it's supposed to.
No, he's just saying like in that type of situation, like if you're
Like you're going 120, like it's
Okay.
crazy. Like
But,
what
like,
do you?
Here's the deal, though. You paid a life insurance for the. And I get what you're saying, but also here's the deal. You paid a life insurance. Say you die at 40 years old and you have 2 children, and you pay for a $100,000 life insurance policy. So for 20 years, you paid in for a $100,000 life insurance policy. You should at least get what you fucking paid in for. If you're gonna say, oh, I can't have it, because say I pay a month for, there's 12 months, you can do that math. It's probably more than that, but for this $100,000 life insurance policy, and then I die, and they're gonna say, well, you can't get that. Your family doesn't get that money. It's like, well, why did I pay into it? I could have taken that money and put it in a Roth IRA. And if I died regardless, that money is still going to be there for my children or my wife. You know what I mean? And that's the fuck thing. I understand if it's like, oh, I can't just shoot myself. But, like, there's certain things where they always try to find a way to backdoor it out.
Yeah, that's why you got to keep your investments, and your insurances, because they are definitely separate. What do you think about on a daily basis?
Honestly, how to be great, how to turn every situation into a positive situation, how to understand where people are coming from, how to understand that the world is different, the world is going through a time to where everybody's trying to figure out what even is the right thing to do now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we come to a point that where putting your life on social media is more important than having a career, So I think it's understanding what's true now is what I think about, and how to, not more or less how to make the most money, but how to make the most money to get me to the point to where I don't have to worry about society,
Yes.
take on what society thinks about how I should live my life. I should be able
Financially free, baby. That's all. That's literally it. I don't need to be wealthy. I just want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. Like,
I gotta dip off to Jamaica and shit to take my family out of America. I should be able to do that, and not have to suffer in America or suffer because of the world's in the fucked up situation.
Be in a position to fuck you.
That's what I think about. It's just how to be great, man. Just how to be great, man. And just training my mind to. It's easy to get negative thoughts, man, especially about small situations.
It is. It's easy to spiral. I agree, though. Like, you just want to put yourself in a position of fuck you. You don't like it? Fuck you. I don't need this. I can leave. I'm comfortable. I'm safe. I don't need this right now. Even people like who become super rich, though, I think sometimes overlook that. You end up living above your means because it's like, oh, I'm making all this money, and then people end up buying a house that like maybe they can't afford right now, but they're hoping to afford, or maybe they have $1 million house, but they're still living paycheck to paycheck. Well, then what happens if you lose that job? Then you're now not financially free anymore, and that's not a position of fuck you. I'd much rather live a little bit below my means and be comfortable than like in a mansion that I'm barely affording.
Yeah, facts. Like maybe like driving a Honda Civic paid for, like brand new but paid for. Like, I don't need the Rolls Royce if I can't afford it like that. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Like, more important to like society nowadays, though. Like, and we just got to get away from that as like a collective, like as a whole. That shit is not important.
Materialism.
100%. I think that also comes from like social media too, because if you think about it, like society has forced that on us, but maybe it's not all true. You see your influencer on social media and you're like, oh, they're driving this car. Do they own it or do they lease it? Oh, they're living in that house. Do they own it or are they renting it? But it's easy to look at somebody else's life and be like, man, I want that. So I'm going to, as soon as I can get it, I'm going to get it. And then it's like, maybe you're overplaying your hand. You ever bet too much in a game of poker? Sometimes the river doesn't go the way you want it to go. And if you're all in and that king doesn't flop, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Amen, man. I mean, shit. Like, that's a good. I mean, as young gentlemen, especially, like, bro, the weight of the world is on our shoulders from here on out. Like, it's like you have to be financially smart to get into those positions to where it's like, yeah, like you said, Hunter, like I agree. I don't want to strive for all these big great things like I do, but then barely be holding on to them. Like it's like, yes, I want a mansion. Yes, I want a yacht. Yes, I want a supercar in my garage. But if I get to that position just barely, and like you said, you're fucking living in $1 million house, but motherfucker, you're paycheck to paycheck still, you fucked up.
Look at this house still eating McDonald's.
That's fucked. Like you said, Hunter, I'd rather fucking move back to Western Pennsylvania, buy some fucking land, have that money, raise a family on the fucking farm, dude.
I'd rather be comfortably safe, you know. I'd rather
At
know.
least Georgia or somewhere down south. I don't know about PA.
Yo, chill in my home state.
Yeah, dude, get out of here. But yeah, I mean, you think like if you're able to comfortably live for a year, you know, if you get fired and not have to stress, like, wouldn't that provide you more satisfaction in a way than, you know, knowing like, man, if I lose my job, my wife and my kids are fucked. Like, we're gonna have to sell this house. If I get fired, we have to sell the house.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like that sucks. But I mean, I get it. You know, there's always reasons to live. But that's also like, I'm not saying you shouldn't take risks with your money and try to strive for more. I'm just saying you have to do it in a position of comfortability, so you can also put yourself in a position of fuck you. You know.
Got to. That's the only thing I'm striving for now. I want to be retired at like 40 years old for sure. Like I'm getting to that point to where it's like already in my mind, and so now it's like, okay, motherfucker, that's in 18 years. Like that, it's time to fucking get to it and make those smart decisions, because it's like, okay, I could go crazy for 10 years out of the 18. Like, okay, let's say we're 32 now. You know what I mean? Went stupid. Okay. Depending on what decisions I made along that time, that 10 years could go so many different ways. It's like you could have had that kid at 22, like, and fucking boom, there goes like you ain't saving anymore. You know what I mean? Like you saving, but not like you were. And then say you don't. Say you take that route where you wait till you're 32 to have kids. Boom, like you've been making that moves, you've been lining it up, and it's like, is there a right or wrong way? Probably not. No, I think everybody's life is different, and I think everybody reacts differently to different things, and what works for Hunter and you, Elijah, might not work for me, and vice versa. And so it's like, I just want us to all, and I know we'll get to a point to where it's like, you guys seen that?
I thought.
I just want us to all get to a point to where we are those 40-year-olds, to where we're literally, you know, even if we aren't what we thought we were, okay, let's just say that. Let's just say we're comfy, okay? We might not be super, super free, and this is hypothetical because we are going to be that. But I'm just saying, let's say we're not. Somehow, some way, some multiverse, okay? At least what I want to be able to do is, like, make sure that we're able to chill out and not be like, damn, 40 years old, like, looking at Hunter, like, going through a tough time or something, being like, damn, dude, like I got to sell my house. Like, I'm fucked. Like, that's fucked, bro. None of us should ever get to that position. Like, when you're 40, like, fuck, like, you should be chilling on the beach, drinking mimosas with the boys.
I actually just saw a show that is coming out on Paramount. That, like, the previews are literally talking about that. Like, this rich guy loses his job and he can't afford to live, so he like starts like stealing shit pretty much to like keep up his lifestyle. I just literally saw a preview about it today. I don't know much about it. But
Yeah, I'd probably start doing that too. I'd probably just start stealing shit.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose the lifestyle, man. You get addicted.
You're like, bro, I gotta. It's either mine or it's coming with me.
Yeah.
I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. Shit, dude. Hey, man, I just like I just really pray for nothing but, you know, all those things that we talk about and we're preaching right here on this podcast, like in 2025, like, bro, that is what we're gonna have in life. And so it's like, I don't really stress or worry about it at all, to be honest, like not even a little bit, because I know great things are coming. And, you know, the group that we have collectively, not just us three, but you just our whole entire network of, you know, brothers, friends, it's like, dude, like, yeah, there's probably going to be some people that are going to get left behind. Like, unfortunately, and I hate to be that guy to say it, but Hunter, we've been saying this for fucking years. Like, there's people that are meant to be leaders and there's people that are meant to be workers. But that's fine. It's just, the fact is I know what we are capable as a unit. And that's where it's like, bro, like, it just excites me so much. It's like, damn, I know Elijah's going to have that private fucking airline, that private hangar where fucking maybe in, I don't know where, fucking Fort Lauderdale, who knows who's coming through Elijah's airport. You know what I mean? They got to get clearance from Big Wiley before they can land there. Right? And then, like, Hunter, Like, bro, I know you're destined for big things. I know you gotta, still take some exams and shit, and I'm praying for you, and you're still in school, and like, but motherfucker, you got it, and you're gonna do it. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I really don't worry too much about this shit. It's just like gonna fall into place how it's supposed to. The stars
Exactly.
align, and it's just exciting, honestly, because we are at this chapter of being 22, 23, 24, and it's like, fuck, dude, college is over, all school's over. It's like everything just fucking flies now. It's like fuck. It's like before we do know it, we are gonna be 30. Like that's fucked. Like me and Sam and Mike and them guys and Grant and all them, bro. We still send pictures like in our group chat from like the memories, like the Snapchat memories and shit. And it's just getting older and older, bro. It's like it went from 1 year ago to 2 to 3. And I told them today, I'm like, guys, I'm like, eventually those pictures are gonna say 5 to 10 years ago already.
Yeah,
And like
it's
it's gonna
sad.
be sad, and
Let's
it's gonna
just
be like,
say like
where the
6
fuck
years.
did it go?
Joey just sent me like Fort Lauderdale pictures of
Yeah.
like us when we went down. I was like, dude, that's crazy.
Crazy. That's literally the same pictures all week was Fort Lauderdale pictures. Boy.
We had a time last night.
One thing I always like to tell myself too is like, as much as we preach like doing it all right the first time, and like, you also are on like nobody's time but your own. And like sometimes, like I know like myself, I'll get ahead of myself where I'm like, damn, I wish I had this, or I wish I had this, or I need this. It's like everything will come in time, and there will be like mistakes and bumps in the road. And just because somebody has something now that maybe you want doesn't mean you're not going to get it, or maybe it doesn't mean you're not going to take a lead later somewhere else. It's just like everybody's got to do things on their own time. And I think it's easy to get caught up in that, like, shit, I need to do this now because everybody else is doing it now
Yes.
type of ideology.
You actually need to. It's quite the opposite. You really need to fail. Like at this age, I'm not gonna lie. Like with the risks and shit, like you have to fail, fail, fail. Because if you're not failing at anything, then you're not trying hard enough. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
not even doing anything. Like what are
No,
you?
learning.
If it's all just happening on the first try, either you're not doing too much or you got lucky. I mean, let's just keep it at that. Like realistically, anything that comes good in life requires a lot of hard work, dedication, and it requires failure. Okay, you're gonna have to figure it out. Like how many times do we have to say figure it the fuck out? Like as we were currently figuring it the fuck out. Like you know what I mean? It's
That was
like
like my
it
motto.
sounds good. The grand
That was their
scheme, like
motto, dude.
dude,
Elijah's
literally.
motto. Figure
I
it the
used to
fuck
yell
out.
that to y'all all the
I used to
time.
love it. I used to love it. I used to be like, "Yep, we figured it out." Like, but the thing is like we paint this big picture. Like, keep in mind, we are three young, driven, future successful people. But at the same time, dude, we fucked up more than anybody. Like, I've seen us fuck up many times. Like, it happens, bro. You gotta fail. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all about the
You
comeback
learn
and the
your
get back.
lessons. It's
The
not
get back,
failing, it's just
motherfucker.
lessons. It's just lessons that you need to learn.
Yeah, no losses, just lessons.
Yeah.
You take wins and you take lessons.
Lessons. Because you learn from them.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not learning from them, that's when they become failing. You
Yeah,
don't
if you
want to
keep
fail. You
repeating.
just want to learn a lesson. It's all about how you think about it.
Yep.
You can say you fail, or you can say I learned my lesson and
Yeah,
change.
perspective. Everything's about perspective.
Yeah, I'm heavy.
Everything. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react.
Yep.
Literally.
10 seconds to land you in prison.
That's also true, dude. Like, and that's something I think about too, like that butterfly effect. When I think about like, oh, I am on my own time, but it's like decisions you make now will affect your future, and whether it's small. I'm not saying like, oh, what do I eat tonight, but like definitely decisions end up adding up.
Yeah.
Consistent bad decisions will affect your future eventually. You do have to have enough self awareness to be like, okay, fuck, I have to change something around. And that's something I get caught up on sometimes, where it's like, what if I do this? Will I get where I want to be?
Right.
Or what if I don't do this? Well, that put me 2 years behind. And then I'm like, all right, dude, who cares? Maybe just do what you want to do. And if it puts you behind, you figure it out. As long as it's not putting you in jail. Because that's true. I mean, 10 seconds will put you in jail.
Yeah.
But the thing is, well, maybe it does fuck me up, and maybe I'll just have to figure it out a little bit different. Like, there is not one route. There's not. There's not a clear path to success at all, bro. If it was, everybody would take it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to get off the road. You got to take the detours, the bumpy road, the off road, and the going, through the valleys, through the river. Bro, fuck, it might be a fucked ride with me. Like, dude, are we gonna get there?
Especially like when you're trying to make like the type of or live the type of lifestyle that we're trying to live. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
Yeah.
like if you're just trying to work, a decent like have a just solid lifestyle and kids, and yeah. But if you're trying to, be that 1%, you gonna go. You gonna
Yeah.
telling you.
Ride the wave, baby, because it's gonna be a shaky one.
Yeah, you gonna learn how. You gotta learn how to surf.
You guys
Them
ever
waves.
you ever think about how like ignorance is in a way like bliss? You know, because like we
Yeah.
want so much out of life, and then sometimes you look at other people, and I'm sure you both know like other people that I know too, who you're like, dude, how are you just so content? You know,
Yeah.
like how are you?
Yes.
How are you so happy? Like I want so much more, and you're just like, yeah, this is cool, you know. And it's like, damn, ignorance is kind of bliss sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you gotta tell yourself like, fuck it, I just gotta enjoy now.
Yes. You got to stay in the moment.
Important.
That's hard for people like us because we are like so focused on, creating that next step and that fucking future that's gonna be, something to look back on and be like, damn, we did it, something worth a life worth living. But at the same time, like if you're not appreciating, looking around, if you dance too fast, you might miss the music. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I like that one.
It's a good one.
No, for real though, like we gotta appreciate now because that's all we got.
Yeah, and you don't want to get to the end and realize you wasted the travel. You know what I mean? Like sometimes some of the fun is in the travel.
I saw Brad Pitt say they asked him, it was like he was winning a Grammy or something, and he just came up on stage when he was accepting it, and he was like, a lot of people have asked me like throughout my journey, like, what was more important to me, the journey or the destination? People always say like, oh, you focus so much on the destination, he literally he stopped. Everybody expected a real answer, and he switched up and he said it was the company, and that hit, bro. It was like, damn. It was like, cause what is a journey without company either? Like, there's a reason there's three of us on this podcast, and I'm not doing it myself, and neither of you are doing it yourself. What the fuck would be the reason? Why? Who would I be talking to? My fucking self the whole time? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate those around you. Treat them with kindness. Treat them with respect, especially your loved ones. And you know what I mean. It doesn't cost anything to fucking, spread some love.
Yeah. Like I was telling Cody this weekend, I was like, yeah, I got homies here in Columbus, but I got boys all over. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and it's just like having that support group to where even if y'all don't talk like every week or every day or like every month, that same connection, like y'all fucking live together, is still there. And
Yeah.
that's what everybody needs in their life. Just like a solid person or group that just no matter if y'all are away for a year, it's gonna be the same energy. So definitely get that in your life. I know some people are antisocial, but this life is not meant to do alone. That's why God wants us to find our woman, or if women end up watching this, men, we're getting canceled. I was just saying.
You can't cancel. Hey, hold on. No, no, no. Listen.
You
You
know,
can't cancel somebody who, first of all, has no clout, and second of all, also doesn't care about being canceled.
Honestly, you can't. Did you ever see that Toji guy who's not famous? I don't know if you've ever seen his shit. It's kind of funny, but he's kind of a jackass. But basically, this dude like was in a fraternity in like California. His girlfriend broke up with him. He took a bunch of steroids. He just gambled all of his money away. He sold his car, gambled the money, and then like he just like takes steroids and says like the most outrageous shit online. But he just has this cult following. Like, dude could have been canceled a gazillion times, but you
oh
just
my
can't
God.
cancel somebody who doesn't care in a way. You know, like
Well, because
it just
canceling
doesn't-
itself is such a fucking bullshit thing. It's literally, bro, if you look back at peak comedy was from like early 2010s to me.
It's
Okay,
back.
anything from 2010 to 2015 maybe, 2014 really. Bro, you watch that shit like fucking Danny McBride on Eastbound and Down or some shit like that, or any of the movies. They don't give a fuck. They didn't give a piss. They said everything literally at anybody, to anybody, and it was a joke. Okay, it was a joke. Laugh about it. Don't get fucking butthurt. Okay,
I'm serious though.
huh?
I'm serious.
Wait, yeah. Go back to what you were saying. Just say it.
So I was just saying, if you're a woman, that's why God said man should find a woman should find a man, because you're not supposed to do it alone. So it's find that group and find that person that you can do your life with. And it just takes the stress off everything. Having somebody you can talk to about everything.
100%, bro. People are supposed to be around people. Think about the worst thing that could happen to you. Okay, the worst thing. Say you commit a crime, you get thrown in prison. Okay, and then you get in trouble in prison. What do they do to you?
Solitary
Solitary confinement. They put you in a box by yourself for a month and let you think about your actions and let you lose your fucking mind. Because okay, you're locked in a. Think about that.
4 hours, right? You don't even get day out.
No, they don't get shit. They're locked in there, no communication, no nothing. Bro, literally think about that concept. You're locked in a building with killers, murderers, rapists, and everything, and the worst thing that they can do for you when you fucked up more than you ever could is put you by yourself.
Dude, you gotta watch.
That's crazy.
You gotta watch this movie called Papillon. It's based on a true story about this. I think he was an American or a French, kind of like a gangster who ends up getting thrown in this prison outside of France, and it's like one of the worst prisons ever. And like it's like you're there for life type of prison, like a labor camp. And if you fuck up or like try to escape and they catch you, like you just go to solitary confinement for like over a year, and it just like makes people like go insane. And he had to do it like twice, and then he eventually like went to this other island and escaped. It's all based on a real story. It's called Papillon. It's a really good movie, but like it kind of does a good job of like showing him going insane in this like solitary confinement because like you're not allowed to speak in it or anything, or like they beat the shit out of you. It's kind of crazy.
Remember they in this box and they had like music and was spraying them in water and shit?
I don't think so,
Okay, that's a different movie then.
but a good movie though. I'd recommend it. Yeah, being alone is a crazy feeling. Well, that's I think a lot of times where people, when people feel alone in life, then they make rash decisions as well. If you feel like there's no one to turn to, and then
Yeah,
There's
but at the
always
same
someone.
time, you got to be okay with being by yourself. You got to be okay, with if you're the only voice that you hear. Sometimes, you got to make sure you're controlling that because your mind might not always be your friend, but you have to at least make friends with it. You know what I mean? Like, because those times, like when you're out and about and your friends ain't there and your family ain't there, and you're just say you move to a new city. Say, I'm lucky because I have some family down here, but like eventually it's going to get to the point where I'm not going to see them as much and it's just going to be me on my own again. And then it's like, okay, Hunter, you're on your own right now. Elijah, you're on your own. And it's like, you got to be okay with that, so that it really helps you, especially appreciate the people around you.
This shit is flowing.
Great conversation.
Good combos. Hey, good people, good combos. Looking good. Dude, I tell you what, that 48-hour fast was kind of crazy. I think I'm going to do it again once
Did
a
you lose
month.
any weight?
Yeah, you always lose weight, but it's not like real weight. Like you lose like water weight and like sodium weight and shit like that. But it's just good for like flushing out your system. And I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. I just seen a couple videos on it, but I just wanted to kind of just prove to myself that I could do it. Like in a way, it was just like mental determination. Like, can I go 48 hours, 2 full days while working, while going to the gym and not eat, just have water, and then it was hard, dude. Like I sitting at work and people are making lunch and coming back with Chipotle and I'm smelling it and I'm like, dude, I would give anything for this right now.
Hey, I heard that honey barbecue or honey chicken chipotle shit
Yes.
is fire.
It's good. I'm actually gonna get some tomorrow for sure.
I think I'm gonna go get some tomorrow then too.
It's good. I've only had it once, but it's worth it. But yeah, it was a cool like mental determination thing. I also just felt like a lot better like when I sat down tonight and I like made dinner. I was like, damn, I fucking earned this one.
What'd you have for dinner?
Ham and potatoes.
Ham and potatoes.
Yep, some fried ham, some mashed potatoes, some corn.
You cooked the ham?
It was like already cooked. Like my dad made it, and then I just fried it.
Oh,
I
you
went
brought
home
it.
last weekend. Yeah, I went home last weekend.
I was trying to put that together, put two and two together.
Yeah, I'm lazy. I can't cook very well.
I try to stay like the pork and shit, but I always find my way eating bacon.
I love bacon. It's so bad.
I love hog.
I want
I
to try
got it.
raccoon. Xavier Leggett, raccoon. I want to try raccoon. Xavier
You
Leggett.
motherfucker, you were
He said it's good. I want to try it.
I've had
Xavier
squirrel.
Forget had a man fucking fried that coon up there. I fucking tell you what, you eat that shit, boy.
You ever
I
had
tell you what,
chitlins before?
I wouldn't eat raccoon because they
Gizzards?
trash. A lot of times animals taste like what they eat. That's why like some bears taste good and some taste bad because if they like are into trash, they taste like shit. I don't know.
What were you gonna say? Have I ever had what, Elijah?
Chitlins or gizzards?
No, I have not, bro. Been around it a lot of times. Never, ever, ever wanted to try it.
What's a gizzard?
You know what chitlins is?
The chicken's little thingy.
Oh, I've had those. Or I've had
Yeah,
gizzard, I
that's-
think, from the.
It's like my favorite. Put some hot sauce on there. It's a little tough. It's good though. I
I
like
don't eat anything.
It's fucking
Like,
garbage.
right when I go back home to North Carolina, I'm gonna get some.
Terrible.
You guys ever had frog legs?
Oh
Yeah.
I've never
Fire.
had them, but I want to.
Bro, I think I've only had them like once or twice, bro. They really, really taste like chicken wings.
Yeah, it tastes just like chicken.
I'd eat them.
They're good. You put some good old Texas Pete on there.
You know what's overrated though? You ever guys ever have like escargot, like snail?
Never.
Dude, so I've had it before, and it's expensive as fuck for one, and I don't think it's that good. It's not like terrible, but it's
I
just
don't want
like
it.
not that good. I had it in France when I was over in France on Thanksgiving, and like me and Angie went to this nice restaurant, and we ended up getting it, and I was like, dude, this fucking dish was like $40, and they got like 8 fucking snails on them. They're like that big, and it's not even that good. It's just like overpriced. It's like rich people food.
What's it even taste like?
The sauce, that's all I know.
Is it slimy?
Really, it's kind of covered in sauce, and you pull it out of the shell and you eat it. It's kind of mushy. It kind of tastes like seafood in a way, you know, like scallops or something like that.
I can go for a crab leg boil soon. I might do that the next day off.
You guys want to come to Florida soon?
I'll come in May.
Get some shit on the calendar. I'll see what's going on.
Hunter doesn't even know where he's gonna be living in the next month.
I have no idea what's going on in my life.
It's all good, bro. Me neither. It's all good. I'm still figuring it out every single day.
Yeah, I got a couple like townhomes in mind, so I just gotta visit them.
Yeah. Let's just like move on let's buy a big piece of land somewhere in some common area and just start building. Let's just start building.
I've been watching Yellowstone. I just keep thinking like I wish I just owned a fucking ranch, man, away from everybody.
I just want to be. I wouldn't be. Fuck. I just wouldn't want to be that far away from like grocery stores and shit. Like I have to drive like 40 minutes to Walmart.
For what?
Like
I grew up
like just a rural area.
For what though? No, I'm saying like if you have a big enough area, you don't need that. You should be self-sufficient. What do you? Your ass would be going there buying Doritos and all the junk food. That's what you're going there for. If anything that's good for you, you can have on the damn farm.
I didn't say I was a farmer now. Goddamn it.
Farmer.
Yeah, I mean-
I ain't a farmer.
Wait, can you buy farmers to come like fucking grow vegetables at your house?
I had to drive 25 minutes to go to the fucking Walmart, so I'm kind of used to.
We should start like a business to where we hire farmers to build personal farms for people.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
A little out of home.
They know the region, they know the land, the soil,
And you just instead of fucking using Walmart shit, we'll come grow it for you. And we have like a plan and shit, these kind of vegetables and shit. That'd be low-key fire.
Problem with that is it's unpredictable because crops can get attacked by bugs and everything else. So if somebody pays a subscription fee to do that and say you're hoping their tomato plant's going to produce 50 tomatoes this year and it only produces 10 because it's just a bad year, like what are you going to do? Give them a refund?
Practice for it. Nothing's guaranteed.
No risk, no veggies.
Everything is in the details, baby.
Big facts.
No, but people will probably learn how to do that type of shit.
Not a bad idea.
Shit, man.
Cause I would want to farm, but I don't know if I'm a farmer. Like I've done gardens before for my Eagle project, but
I think if I was in like that form of society, like I don't know, there's like two parts of me. Like, yeah, I think it'd be sweet to like live somewhere cool and be around a lot of people, but also like, dude, I could be like Yellowstone, especially when I'm older and just fucking. Yeah, I don't see a house in my house. Maybe I got like 5 other dudes on the ranch with me. You know, we all got houses in different corners. Take quads and see each other. But, like,
Yes. That's what I want,
cares,
bro.
dude?
That's exactly what I want. A fucking barn dominium for each of us. Like, that's not too much to
I
ask
would
for.
do
Like,
that. That'd be fire. Or do like a lake house like community.
unpopular opinion, barn dominium is the best style of house.
Oh, the old school barn houses for sure. One of them.
Like, I'm talking about like fat ass, like half of it's a garage, fucking basketball court in there, baseball cages, football. I don't know. Hella room for toys. You know what I mean? Just like, I think that layout's tough, especially in like Texas or Florida or some shit.
I don't know what a barn dominium looks like.
They're tough. They're tough. Barn dominium.
Bang.
Bang. Well. We want to thank you all for joining us tonight on the newest edition of the Real As It Gets podcast. Thank you for tuning in on all your platforms. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share with all your friends because we want to welcome everybody to the Real As It Gets community.
You just
Bang.
gotta die there.
Fuck you, I'm going home.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Oh, shit.